Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? What's up? It is your girl, Sean Taylor. Listen, I am here. It is now, what is today's date, child? It's Wednesday, the 22nd, and I'm here for your free homeschool coaching, y'all. I'm trying to position myself in a better way because on Instagram, I look weird. Like I look barely on the screen. It's very strange, very strange. But if you're coming in and say, hey, what's up? Let me know that you are here. Come on in here and say, hey, let me know that you're here. It's been an interesting day. If you were in my Facebook group, Homeschooling with Sean, then you have experienced a little bit of what I have been going through today. I was fussing earlier. If you're coming in, hey, Speak Spanish Now live. Hey, Oshan Essentials. Hey, Lily Marie, thank you so much for joining me. Hey, Jaquithia, hashtag Guru Click. Hey, Lynn. Hey, Camille. Hey, Hester. Y'all come on in here and say, hey, what's up? Let me know that you're here. If you are not a part of my Facebook group at this point, I mean, what are you doing with your life? Like, real talk. I do have a group. It is called Homeschooling with Sean. And basically, it is a group where we come to help each other in these homeschool streets, right? Let me do this. Okay, so I'll add that link in there. All I ask is that when you join the group, it's called Homeschooling with Sean, that you answer all of the questions so that myself or the admins can let you in. If we see someone who doesn't answer the questions, we automatically decline them. And the reason why is because we want to make sure that it is a safe place for you guys to come and ask your homeschooling questions. We want to make sure that it's a safe place, no judgment, but a safe place for you to be there and say things like today. Like I was ready to square up with my youngest one today. He was having a hard time, right? And so we want to make sure that it's a safe place for you guys to be and not have to worry about being in the regular world, I guess, and worry about somebody judging you because you're doing things differently or judging you because you're struggling, right? Okay, so do me a favor. If you're needing that help and that support, it's a free Facebook group. They're called the Guru Click, and we just come in there and chill. We joke, we laugh, we have fun times, we share recipes, we talk about lesson planning, we do the Homeschool Moms Lounge, which if you're unfamiliar with, is basically where we all come together on Fridays. And I say all, everybody's invited, but it seems to be the same few that show up. But we come on Fridays and we connect with each other, just have a place to enjoy each other. And not talk about homeschool, right? That's the only rule, is that if you come in there, we're there to relax and chill and just just be a mom. Well, not necessarily be a mom, but just be a woman, right? Just laugh at your girlfriends. And these girlfriends just happen to be homeschooling mamas, okay, who understand what you're going through on a daily basis. So that's what the purpose of that group is, that Homeschool Moms Lounge. So join the group. I pinned it, Homeschooling with Sean the Guru. Hey, Leandra. Leandra's tagging people. I appreciate it. Now, Leandra's doing exactly what I need, okay? So listen, I barely ask for anything, right? I'm not on here and I'm like, hey, my Cash App is this, my PayPal is this, right? Like I'm not on here. I just freely give information when it comes to homeschooling. And all I ask from you is that you share, you tag people, you like, you thumbs up. Every single time you do that, it blesses me, it furthers me, it allows me to get deeper in these homeschool streets than what I am already. And so I appreciate it. Okay. Hey, Cindy, thank you so much for joining me. You made a live. Wait, now, Cindy, is this the Cindy that asked the question today in the group? Because I went live in the group earlier to answer your question, and my littlest one was being a blessing. And I couldn't get the live to go through like I wanted it to go through. So if that's you, okay, great. So I went live in the group to answer your question. I was on there for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then my son kept calling me back to back, and it was just the whole issue. So I ended up deleting it because I was getting frustrated. My thoughts were all over the place. So I'm going to answer your question today. Okay, so even if you cannot stay live, Cindy, and hear the answer, come back and watch the replay, because I'm going to specifically answer your question. I'm going to answer your question first, okay? As a matter of fact, I probably should pull it up so I can read the basics, right? What's going on. But if you're coming in again, say, hey, what's up, y'all? If you're unfamiliar with me, my name is Sean Taylor. I go by the name of Sean, the homeschool guru, and I'm amazing at helping families transition into homeschooling, right? If you know my story, then you know that it was never in our plan or never part of what we wanted to do for our children to homeschool. It was something that we never intended on doing. But we have been blessed to be able to do that and to be able to do that for several years. And I say that honestly, but it is a struggle. I want you to know that, right? I don't want you to think you are out here and that we're out here and we're not struggling. It is a struggle. Excuse me. And there are rough days. There are days that suck. There are days that are great. There are days that are amazing. There are days that are okay. There are days, sometimes I rethink it, like maybe we should not be doing this thing here. And that's just me being very honest with you. Okay. Cindy, you're absolutely welcome. And I try to be transparent on my page because I want you to know it was never in our plan to homeschooling, but it is the best decision that we have ever made, that we never planned to make. And if I had to say anything, it is the hardest thing that I will ever love. Like, I love it to death. I love what I'm doing for my children, but it is hard. It's hard work. And so I just want to be honest and transparent with you. It's not all gravy. It's not all good. What you see on my Facebook and my Instagram is what I allow you to see, right? You see a 30-second trailer, a minute trailer of, oh, look at how great this is. I made this poster. It's amazing. You don't see me remaking that same poster 18 times because I can't spell. Or you don't see me 2 seconds ago losing it with my kids because I was telling them I'm going live. I text everybody in the family and said I'm going live. And then as soon as I hit the live button, my boys started arguing back and forth and calling each other names. So you don't see that, right? You only see the snapshot. You only see what I allow you to see. Okay. So I'm going to pause for a second and say, hey, what's up? And then we're going to get into your question, Cindy. Let's see. Hey, Show. Thank you for joining me. Good evening. I can't read that, y'all. If you don't know, I'm blind, y'all. MJS African Braids. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. If you're here, say, hey, what's up? Let me know that you're here. Hester says something was in the air. My little one was a mess for a moment today. Yeah, it was a lot going on today. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say about what he was going through. All I can say to you is it was frustrating for me. And I called his dad and was like, you know what? Guess what, fam? He's going to go with you tomorrow. Like, I'll send all of his schoolwork with you tomorrow and you can deal with it. I'm not going to deal with it. It was a lot. There was a lot going on. There was a lot going on. But let me pull up Cindy's question. It's a really good question. And Cindy, just to give you a heads up, I won't tell everything, okay? I'll just ask the question, okay? Let's see. Let me see what I can snippet, right? Without telling all her business. Let's see, I work full-time 5 days a week. I get up every day at 3 a.m. to be able to report to work by 5:30. I typically get home after 3 p.m. By the time I get home, I'm completely exhausted. I still have to cook dinner and homeschool my 11 and 6-year-old. Let's see. Most days I'll say we'll homeschool tomorrow, but sometimes we don't. My husband is working as well and works the overnight night shift. And I'm paraphrasing this so I don't tell all her business. But my husband works the overnight shift and sometimes can barely stay awake when he gets home from work. Okay. So basically, to give you a synopsis, if you didn't catch that, her struggle is that she's a full-time working mom, right? So she's working and she's trying to homeschool her kids. And then her husband as well is working, but he's working the overnight shift and trying to homeschool as well. And so here's my advice to you. Okay. First of all, it's not going to be easy. And Cindy, I just wanted to be honest with you and tell you that there are going to come some sacrifices for you and your husband. There are some things that you're going to have to do in order to make it work for your family. And when I say that because reading on with your message, you were saying that public school or the traditional school system is not a part of what you want to do. Like you're not trying to return to that. And in order to not return to that and then still get the education that you want them to have, you have to be clear about what it is, what your goal is for them. You have to be clear about that, okay? And then you have to sit down and set those steps up in order to figure out exactly what it is that you want to do. So say, for instance, your goal is, I want my daughter, let me just say 8 years old, I want her to be able to finish the second or third grade, and that the grade level they're in at that point. You want her to be able to progress to the next grade level. That is your goal, okay? And I'm just putting that out there. So this is just an example, not saying this is what you told me, but her goal is to finish the grade level that she's on and go to the next grade level, okay? Within your work schedule, you're going to have to be able to make yourself available so that she can get what she needs to progress to the next goal. And that also means to your husband as well. And I know, let me mind my own self business. I'm not trying to jump in between you and him and what y'all have working. But if as a couple, you guys have decided to homeschool your children and you're both deciding, or it's both important or imperative that you both continue to work, then you guys are going to both have to work together to make the homeschooling work. It's not up to just you to make the homeschooling work. So, and I know that I'm trying to make sure I'm respectful in that moment and not say anything that's out of pocket or disrespectful to your husband or anything into that effect. But I do want to make that clear. So if you as a couple have decided to homeschool your children, right, and you as a couple have decided that both of you are going to have to work to maintain the lifestyle or maintain what you have, then that means that there's going to have to be some give and take on both of you guys, okay? And what I'll say for you, like simple things, like you were saying, dinner, okay? Dinner is making large meals. So meals where you can make leftovers. I tell you guys with us, like for instance, last week we had the meatloaf, right? And I made a big, huge meatloaf. My intent with making that big, huge meatloaf was that so we could have multiple meals off of that. So we ate it for dinner the next day. And then if the kids wanted to eat it for lunch and make a meatloaf sandwich the next day, they could. If they wanted to eat it the next day for dinner and have meatloaf a second day or a couple days later, they could. That was my goal. That was my option. And so those big meals, quick meals, start incorporating your babies, looking at the ages that you gave me. Your ages of your babies are at a way where they can somewhat fix what they want to eat for dinner. And I'm not saying full 5-6 course meals, but they're able to come home and, hey, let's make peanut butter and jelly. Let's make turkey and cheese. And Cindy, you said, no, ma'am, we are not. What are you referring to? I'm not quite sure what you're referring to. I said something. Tell me what you're referring to when you said that. But it's very important, again, that you guys are working together as a team, as husband and wife, to make this happen. And so, again, that comes with sacrifice. Another thing that I want you to remember, too, is that homeschooling does not look like traditional school. And I'm talking to myself. Sometimes I have to remind myself that I'm trying to duplicate what I had when I was in high school or when I was in school, or duplicate what my kids had when they were in traditional school system. So say, for instance, I grew up in the Northwest. We went to school at like 7:15, 7:20, our first bell rang. So we were up early. We were done with school maybe around 2:45, somewhere around there. Down here in Texas, they go to school like late to me. It's like 8:30, somewhere around there. And then they're in school till 3:30, 4 o'clock, somewhere in between there. And so when I came home, I had the mindset of school had to be between those hours. And they don't have to be between those hours. So say, for instance, there is a day during the week that is less busy for you, or there's a day for you. Say, for instance, you said you work 5 days a week. You could do Monday. So you could do, let's just break this down. So say, for instance, you could do school on Saturdays and Sundays, and then pick 2 days during the week to do school and the rest off. Okay. You don't have to do it Monday through Friday at the exact time everybody's doing it. You could do one subject a day. Okay. So you could say, on Mondays, when I get off of work, all we're working on is math, and we're going to work on math for 2 hours a day or an hour a day. And then on Tuesday, we're going to work on science, and we're only going to do science 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day. Wednesday, we're going to do history for an hour or two. Thursday, we're going to do ELA for hour 2. Friday, we're going to do whatever for hour 2. And then Saturday and Sunday, you could do a full school day of work to make up for whatever you may have missed during the week. So that way they still get the hours and the stuff that they need to have. So it's important for you in this moment to realize that your homeschooling journey is not going to look like the traditional school system. And 9 times out of 10, it doesn't. And 9 times out of 10, it shouldn't, unless it works for your family. So you trying to make it work or fit into the traditional school system is not going to work for you. It's literally thinking outside of the box. Like literally, what can I do? Okay, I work Monday through Friday. I'm exhausted. And I remember what you said that you do in the group. And so maybe some of those days are easy. And I can't imagine that particular job. I imagine you're mentally spent by the time that you get home. But if you could sacrifice an hour or 2 every single day, and then maybe on Saturday and Sunday, do a couple of hours of work a day, would that work out for you? Let me know, Cindy. Let me know, will that work out for you? Okay. So let's see. I'm going to go in the comments and say, hey, hey, Tracy, thank you so much for joining me. Hey, Saucy Mimi. Cindy says, return the girls to public school. Right. Oh, yeah. Returning the girls to public school is not an option for her. Absolutely. I remember her saying that. Let's see. Hey, Vea. Let's see. Vea says, I have to remind myself as well. Yeah, I have to remind myself, y'all, and I've been doing this for a while. I have to remind myself that the original intent is for us not to do school at home, but to do homeschooling, what it means to us. And so for a day like this, for us today was very difficult for us. We got up this morning. The boys had eye doctor's appointments. One boy had training. Another boy has training later on. So our school day today was very split up. It was very like, a block here, okay, let's run and go. A block here, okay, let's run and go. A block here, okay, let's go. And so in that mindset, you have to think about that when you're homeschooling your child. Hester says, me too. Hey, Lakeisha, hey, girl, hey, I think you caught me like 3 or 4 times in a row. Cindy says, awesome ideas. I'm going to do that. Takes a lot of pressure off of me. My husband isn't willing to assist very much. Okay, so Cindy, here's the thing. Now, I'm with you with the husband not willing to assist. And what I will say in my defense, and I'm going to say it in your husband's defense too, in my husband's defense, it's not for my husband. It's not that he's not willing to assist, but I want to say that the task almost seems daunting for them. And of course, it seems daunting for us as mothers as well. But you know, us, we like, forget that. Forget if it's daunting. I'm going to do it scared. I'm about to get it done. Like it's got to be done. So let me go get this done. So we may be scared as well, but we're going to push through because we understand the importance of it. We usually push through, right? Like we usually keep going because that's what needs to be done. And so we're used to doing that. And so what I will say about my husband is him sitting here and like me having a ELA lesson, like that lesson I did in the group. You guys heard me teaching the kids, the boys, that ELA lesson. Him doing that is not going to happen. But what I asked him to do was pick subjects that he likes to teach. So my husband loves history. He's a history buff. Okay. Like that's his thing. And so what I asked him to do was grab those things that he enjoys and teach those. That would become easier for him. So if there's a subject that your husband enjoys, say, for instance, he enjoys writing or he enjoys reading or he enjoys math or he enjoys art or whatever it is, allow him the opportunity to teach that to the kids. Now, with that said, okay, Cindy, you and I'm going to talk to you and I because we talking, right? We can't jump in there and tell him he's doing it wrong. We're going to have to allow him to teach the way that he teaches the subject that he wants to teach. So even if even if your husband only picks one subject to teach, even if he says, I am going to be responsible for science, or I am going to be responsible for English language arts, even if he only picks that one subject, that is a huge load he has taken off your shoulders. Okay. So allow him to take that load and do whatever it is. Allow him to take the wheel, allow him to take the responsibility to take over that particular subject matter. Okay. Hey, Sabrina. Hey, girl. Hey. Vea says, my husband loves history as well. LOL, especially church history. There you go. Okay, there you go. So in those moments, allow him to do what he loves to do. Again, I don't enjoy teaching history. My husband does. I find myself it's very interesting too, because right now I have taken over history, but when he wants to slip in and give his nuggets, and it's not like literally in my skin, I'm going, sir, we're not even talking about that right now. Oh, that's so amazing. Like, that's how I have to fix myself. I'm screaming, right? Like, you're distracting. Don't do this. This is not where we are. But inside, he's doing exactly what I asked him to do, which was take on the subject to help me to lift the load off of me. So when he's ready to teach, and he could be teaching random, y'all, and it usually is pretty random. Okay. I just sit there like this. He's so amazing. Look at him being helpful. Ain't he great? Even though that's not even what we're working on right now. You're good job, babe. You're amazing. Like, that's how we have to play it. Okay. That's how we have to play it. Okay. And hey, Chantree says some good nuggets there. Okay. City says, awesome ideas. I'm going to do that. Takes a lot of pressure off of me. My husband is willing to assist. Okay. We talked about that. Absolutely. LOL. And I'm just saying, and it's going to take some push and pull, some tug and some this, and again, I want you to remain full of hope. Don't be hopeless. And this is me talking to you as a homeschool mom. I know that there are times that things don't work the way that they're supposed to, or things don't work the way that you wish they worked, but be hopeful that you will figure it out. Okay. And so again, let's try this for the next week or so. And it may take a second for you to work. Literally, go day by day. So if you say, I am just going to teach this subject on Mondays, okay? And here's another thing too. You could say, for instance, I'm only going to teach math on Mondays, and then I'm going to give them a packet, or I'm going to give them worksheets, or I'm going to give them videos to watch, whatever it is I'm going to give them to watch. All your husband has to do is make sure that they get that work done when he gets off of work from the graveyard shift, okay? So instead of him sitting there teaching the lesson, all he has to do is make sure that they get the lessons done that you asked them to do. Okay. You're going to teach them Monday, right? And then Tuesday, you got videos. Tuesday, you got worksheets, something like that to that effect for them to do independently while he's resting, because he's at a whole graveyard shift, right? He's tired too. That's all you're going to do as far as that's concerned. Chantree says some good nuggets. I appreciate it. Vaya says, that's good. Lakeisha, my husband can't teach a rock. LOL. So he cooked meals and transportation and field trips. Hell, hey, I'll take it. Exactly. Okay. Exactly, guys. Okay, so there's a perfect example. So her husband, he ain't about that teaching life. He's not about that homeschooling life. But wifey, I got you. I can get in this kitchen and I can make a peanut butter and jelly, or I can make a mean chicken, or I can make a mean this. So that's something less that you have to worry about. So it's really going to take a moment for you and your husband to get on the same page and find out how you're going to support each other in your goal, right? The end goal game is to homeschool your children, right? Till completion, till they're done. So how are we going to do this as a couple? Where are we going to pick up each other's slack so that the other one can get the other thing done? That type of question. I mean, it comes with a heart-to-heart conversation. I'm going to be honest with you. Don't go in there with your feelings on your sleeve. Don't go in there expecting him to give you the world and you give nothing. All you're going to teach is the kids. Don't expect that, okay? Because, of course, you're not going to have the best conversation with that, okay? Hester says, my husband teaches history, Bible, driver's ed for my high school daughter, outdoor gym. There you go. Okay, do what you can. Even that, even if it was gym or whatever the case may be, whatever you can have them do would be great. Okay. Country says, take what you can get. Yes, take what you can get. Take whatever it is, whatever they offer to you, take what you can get. And here's the thing with most guys, to be very honest with you, once they start teaching, and they see the kids interacting with what they're teaching, they will enjoy it and teach more. Okay. So if it's a subject that they love, right? So my husband loves history. Once he hears my kids interested in any type of history, anything like that, then he becomes more like, oh, you like that? You like that? Okay. Let me give you a little bit more. Okay. And that happens with most men, right? Bea says, I'm learning how to regroup with a sick spouse so I understand our whole time frame is off this year. And it will be, right? Your time is going to be off sometimes. And it's okay to say, you know what? We're off. Let's get this figured out. Let's figure out what we can do to get back on. Sabrina says, I need help staying on a schedule, like staying on an actual schedule. Okay, tell me more. You're welcome, Sabrina. Tell me more, Sabrina. What do you mean by staying on the schedule? Sydney says, do you recommend me changing curriculum? No, not necessarily. I know you mentioned curriculum in that post. Let me go back and read it. And if I need to come back live to discuss so we can talk about that, we'll talk about it in the group. Okay. So I will tag you in that if that's the case. I do remember you saying something about curriculum, but I don't always believe that it is the curriculum, but sometimes I do believe it's the curriculum, right? So for instance, I am a big fan of Abeka when it's in the younger ages, like right before you get to that middle school area. Abeka is bar none the best, right? It prepares kids incredibly. Once it gets to that middle school level and up to the high school, it gets really, how do I say? What do I want to say? It gets really, it's like busy work is what I want to say. So say for instance, it just takes up a bunch of time. You're sitting in class, you're watching a video, not a live video, a recording for 30 to 45 minutes. Then they give you an assignment, right, for 30 minutes. And then you have homework. The kid has homework after that. And it's like 30 to 45 minutes. That's a lot. That's a lot. You might as well go to traditional school. I said it. I know y'all not going to like me. Those who are Abeka fans, you're not going to like me. Abeka is great for elementary grades. It's really great probably for those early middle school grades. But once you start getting closer to the high school, I don't suggest that curriculum. Saucy Mimi says, I'm thankful my boyfriend knows math. If I'm stressed, he will come over and teach my 8th grader because he loves math. See, that's what I'm talking about. In whatever way that you have a partner. Let's also remember, too, it's not just your partner. So I have a client whose mom was a history teacher for years, right, in school, history teacher for years. What she did, which I thought was absolutely amazing, her mom lived in another state. They used to do Zoom calls, and her mom, who enjoyed teaching but had retired, was teaching her grandkids history on Zoom. Okay. So think about those resources. My dad, I'm not a handy type person, fix anything. My dad is amazing at that. As soon as he, is ready to fix some pour concrete. Oh, I'm about to build this shed, this banister. Oh, I've got the power saw. Let's get to work. I'm like, the boys are on their way, right? Because he can teach them skills that I can't teach them. Okay. I know, right? She said, oh, that's sweet. Okay. Let's see. Jaquithia says, hubby had been responsible for driver's ed for the teenager, and he helps our son with science. Yeah. Any way that they can help. And that's the thing, too. You have to remind your husbands, you have to talk real sweet to them, right? They like it when you talk to them, right? Hey, babe. Flip your hair. Hey, baby. Hey, honey. Hey, love. You're an amazing driver, babe. And I was wondering if you could teach the kids how to drive. You gotta talk to them, right? You gotta make them feel good. But no joke. I asked my husband to teach my kids, my high schoolers, to drive as well. I asked him to do that. Unfortunately, his schedule didn't allow for that as far as that's concerned. But you have to, your husbands are just as scared to homeschool as much as you are. They are concerned as much as you are. But of course, we're like, forget it. Let's get this done. Let's ride. Let's go. We're going to figure this out. That's how we're thinking. And so you got to do whatever it is you got to do. Okay. Hey, Marissa, thank you so much for joining me. She said, I said it. You're awesome. Listen, I mean, a lot of people go be to the walls for Abeka. Y'all, Abeka for younger grades is amazing. But once it gets to that upper level, it's just busy work. It's just, a lot of it's unnecessary. And I mean, but this is what I will tell you. Our journeys are not going to be the same. So if it works for your family, if it works for you, go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Sabrina says, so my boys are 4 and 5, very different. So I end up spending more time on a subject with my 4-year-old, and now I roll over into another subject time. By this time, my husband and I may have some business to handle that takes up the rest of the day. Okay. So how long are you spending with your 4 and 5-year-old? That's my first question. Typically at that age, you are only doing 15-minute lessons, somewhere around there. Now, that's not including independent time. So say, for instance, you want your child you're going to teach them for 15 or 20 minutes and then let them do, well, not 20 minutes. I would say 10 to 15 minutes, or as long as it takes them to get it. Let's say that. You're going to teach them for 15 minutes. And then you're going to have them do some independent type work for 15 minutes. Now, Sabrina, also because your boys are so close in age, right? They're 4 and 5. A lot of the subjects that you're doing, you can do at one time. Okay. I have a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old, and 11-year-old. There are certain subjects that we do together. They just have different levels of assignments. So different requirements of what's due. But because your boys are so close in age, a lot of those things you can do together. Okay. So you can do math together. You can do ELA together. But at that age, lessons should be no more than 15 minutes. And then maybe later on, you come back to it and they do a worksheet or some type of hands-on activity to back up what you just taught them. Okay. Let me know if that makes sense, Sabrina. Sabrina says, yes, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Hollow Majesty, for joining me. I appreciate you. Cindy, let me know if that answered your question. If not, again, I will go live in the group and we'll talk further. Okay, we'll get this resolved for sure. Chantry says, yes, build them up. Yeah, you got to build them babies up, right? You got to build them husbands up, show a little shoulder. Hey, babe. Hey, babe. You got y'all, I'm being messy. Yes, ma'am, them bedroom eyes. And you know what? I always mess with my husband because I'm like, hey, hot stuff. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do. Mercy says, God, I love. We have church grandparents that teach my kids mechanics, physics, baking, astronomy, sewing, and piano, etc. Exactly. Use your village. And I know that there are a lot of people out there that have family members that are not willing to support your decision to homeschool. And that's okay. But you have other homeschoolers that are able and other people that are willing to support you in that journey. So take advantage of that. Just do what you got to do, right? Like, you don't have to do it alone. There are tons of people out here. There are people out here that are doing co-ops online still. There are the pods that people call them pods, but homeschoolers have been doing co-ops for years, blah, 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 pods. That's what I think about that. We've been doing that for years. But there are tons of people out there doing it. It's just a matter of finding your tribe, finding the people that are going to work for you and your family. Lakeisha says, it's several resources in some of the social media groups to help. We have our second Zoom class to learn chess for free. I take advantage of free resources when I can. Yes, you are absolutely correct. There are tons of free resources. I tell everybody, if you wanted to homeschool and not pay a dime, you could. The library is free all day, every day, as long as you return the books back, right? Then you have the internet at your fingertips, okay? If you wanted to homeschool your children for free, you could absolutely do it. You could go on to the internet, find a subject, a topic, and create an entire lesson and not spend a dime. I'm 100% sure of it because I've done it, okay? Now, it's time consuming. You pay for convenience, right? And so I paid for convenience. I bought master books. I bought what else, Sam Hill, did we buy? Master books, elemental science. What else? We've done Learn Math Fast. Now, I bought those things for convenience, and that's okay too. That's okay too. Chantry says, that's awesome. Sabrina says, my 5-year-old catch on very fast. My 4-year-old needs more work, and my oldest will be bored. Okay, so what I would say, Sabrina, in that instance is, when your 5-year-old catches on very quick, give them a kinesthetic type activity that you can give him to work on in the meantime while you're continuing to work with your 4-year-old. Okay, so say, for instance, you're working on addition. Then you're going to keep working with your 4-year-old on addition one-on-one, and you're going to give your other baby over there something more hands-on that they can work on in the meantime. Okay, let me know if that makes sense. Marissa says, we go super unschooling and no structured schooling under 8 years old. Lots of reading, play, building, getting bored, etc. Only busy work if they want something to keep their attention. There you go. So a lot of people are like that, right? A lot of people are like that, where they pick to unschool until they're older, right? Less formal education when they're younger, which is fine, because when you think about it, we basically learned via play when we were younger. It's just that society tells us at a certain age we have to go sit at a desk, right? So that's why we're doing it. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. Bea says, yes, I love my library. They know us by name. Exactly. Marissa's library, Spokane, Washington gives unlimited books with no late fees to homeschooling families. Listen, Marissa is blessed because I told you here where I am in my particular local library, I have it's called a teacher's account. As a homeschooler, I have a teacher's account. Now, the first time somebody told me about it, I asked about it. They wouldn't give it to me. I asked 2 or 3 times. I think, honestly, I asked every time we went. I asked somebody, can I get a teacher's account? Oh, no, you're not with the school. Okay, thanks. And I'd walk on. Somebody else would come the next time and I would ask him, can I get a teacher's account? No, you're not a school. I'm sorry. I'd say, okay, great, right? The next time I'd catch somebody else, can I get a teacher's account? No, you're not a school. The 4th time I asked, it was a guy there that had seen me and he said, you're in here a lot. And I said, yeah, like we homeschool. So we're here. We're grabbing books. We're doing schoolwork in the library. We're chilling, getting out the house. And he was like, do you want a teacher's account? Yeah, sign me up right now before somebody else says no. And he was like the supervisor or something. So he ended up giving me a teacher's account. And what that meant for us was we could check out unlimited books with no late fees, exactly what Marissa is talking about. And so ask, the answer is no unless you ask, right? I always say that. And then I always say ask multiple times. Just don't ask the same person multiple times. I always say that. Hey, Sheena. Sheena says core knowledge is completely free. Exactly. Sabrina says it does. I really appreciate you in this group. Oh, you're absolutely welcome. You are absolutely welcome. Bea says, I wish I had no fees. That's awesome. I started racking up 10 cents here, $1 there. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It was definitely a blessing. I'm kind of concerned, to be honest, because if I go now, because it's been a while, I think I've let it expire because you have to redo it like every year with COVID and them shutting down. I don't know. I probably can work it out. But if I go up there and get the library, then you can do that. Let's see. No freaking way, praise. I know, right? Jaquithia says, let me go to my library and get me the teacher's account. Exactly, Jaquithia. But you need to ask. You need to go to the main library. Okay, she knows where I'm from because she's in the area. You need to go to the main library and you need to see the tall, skinny guy with the bald head. That's who you need to talk to. Don't talk to anybody else. Anybody else is going to tell you no, okay? I know, Hester, she said that was favor. I know. Sabrina says, I know, that's right. Yes, thanks for the nuggets, Marissa. Yeah, Marissa has been homeschooling for a super long time and has younger kids and is doing an amazing job on that. Now that I think about it, Marissa, I haven't seen your journey in a while. I might need to figure that out, right? Well, listen, guys, it's 5:40, right? Hopefully I've answered your questions. Cindy had an amazing question. I hope that I answered you. If not, Cindy, I will go back and read the rest of that and we can continue to have that conversation in the group. Sabrina, if you have any more questions about your situation, let me know, okay? You guys join my group. I'm going to pin it again. This is where we talk outside of the actual outside of me going live and you guys coming on here asking questions. A lot of the ladies are in this group with me and they answer questions. The beauty of this group, besides it just being me that's in there are tons of other experts and there are tons of other homeschool moms can tell you how they've done it. So it's a great place. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm proud of the community that I have built, that I have the opportunity to lead. You are welcome as long as you're good. You're homeschooling mama and you have good intentions. Don't start no mess. We shut that down real quick. My admins are absolutely amazing. They are great. My admins have been homeschooling for, I think, 20 plus years combined. They've been homeschooling longer than I have. And they are absolutely amazing. So anytime you ask a question, make sure that you just ask and be ready because people are going to come on there and answer whatever question you may have. Okay. So listen, y'all, I'm done. It's Wednesday. You guys are absolutely welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Do me a favor. Everybody that's in here, bless me. I don't ask for money. All I ask you to do is to share, like, comment. That's it. Okay. Throw me some emojis. That's all I ask for you to do. Okay. That helps me in the long run. Okay. So do me a favor. Everybody that's in here, throw me some hearts or share or put a heart in the comments, something to that effect. That blesses me alone in itself. I'm not asking for anything else. This is good. I loved it. Great. I'm so glad, y'all. I appreciate it. I see the smiley faces, the care, the thumbs up. That is blessing me. I appreciate it. You guys have absolutely no idea how much of a blessing that is. I'm going to jump off of here because I have a kid that has not finished his schoolwork before practice. Thank you so much, Bea. But thank y'all so much for joining me. I will see you again on Monday. Do me a favor. Write down your questions, okay? Write down any question you can think of the next few days. If you're walking down the street or you're walking in the grocery store and you have a homeschooling question, write it down and be prepared to ask it on Monday or post it in the group. Do whatever it is that you have to do so that we can get this done, right? Y'all have an absolutely wonderful day. Let's see. Marisa says, Sandra, I'm not messing around when I say this. Yes, go unschooling, even if it's just for a second. Don't push, don't drill, don't schedule, don't force. She'll have a fire to learn when she feels like she's not being forced. We're all designed to learn. Facts, all of that. I'm going to leave that comment there so y'all can read that for a second, okay? Instagram, you cannot see that. It looks weird on your screen. But it says, Sandra, I'm not messing around when I say this. Yes, and this is Marissa speaking. Go unschooling, even if it's just a second. Don't push, don't drill, don't schedule, don't force. She'll have a fire to learn when she feels like she's not being forced. We're all designed to learn. We are all designed to learn. That last sentence is a mouthful in itself. We are all designed to learn, okay? All right, y'all, thank you so much for the hearts. I appreciate y'all. You are a continual blessing to me. I will see you guys soon. Write down your question, comments, concerns, all that good stuff. And I got you on Monday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. You guys have an absolutely wonderful Wednesday. Until next time, bye, guys.